What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back again today with another live stream. I got my buddy, Mr. Reid, here with me today. Got a few topics we're going to talk about. Man, I don't know what it is. It's something. It's the off season. That's what it is, Mr. Reid. Because we got plenty of players with different stories. I mean, the stories of these players just coming out. Some serious, some funny. But I mean, the news cycle for the last 48 hours has been ridiculous when it comes to these players, man. First and foremost, what we starting out at, of course, is Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
Now, Richard Sherman, when I initially saw it, I saw the charges and I saw what they were talking about, and I was like, man, this sounds real serious. But now that we know more about the situation, it was not necessarily a domestic violence between him and his wife, because they had burglary and domestic violence. So apparently he had pretty much a episode where he was going through his issues. He was drinking, and he proclaimed he wanted to kill himself. And she called the authorities because he kind of got out of hand. He got into it with her dad, and her dad pepper sprayed him, and he was having a bad day. He was going through it. And one of the things about stuff like that is like on the outside, Richard looked like he has it all together. He's one of the top students in his class coming out of school. He qualified for Stanford. That should tell you all you need to know right there. Very smart guy, very well put together. He's an athlete. He's a millionaire. His brand is very big. He's one of the most braggadocious, most known NFL players of the last decade or so. He's a winner. He's a future Hall of Famer. But underneath it, what's going on? Like that's one thing about I told you earlier when we talked about Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams talked about it. He said a torn ACL or a broken bone is easily identified, but a hurt mind, I mean, what do you have for that? And so it just highlights that you don't know what people are going through, and check on your friends, man.
Yeah. And I tell you, Brandon, it's just that a lot of us, man, I mean, I love this show because sometimes you just have to speak from the heart. And to have an opportunity to speak from the heart can really, I mean, it's a good thing. People don't always agree, are going to agree, so going to disagree. But, a lot of times, us men, I just say us men, us black men too. I mean, how you want to phrase it, it's up to you. But a lot of times, man, we always try to personify strength.
Yes.
We never want to feel weak. We never want to show a hurt. We always want to be strong. Hell, I can even admit to that, man. I've been to funerals, man. I don't know. I just try not to shed a tear.
Right.
I can't explain it. It probably
we're conditioned that way.
Probably the most stupidest thing in the world, but for some reason I don't cry at funerals. But as you said, you look at a guy like Richard Sherman. He's on top of the world. He's been a Pro Bowl. He's been a Super Bowl champion. He's been all that. On the outside, he looks like the spot where any person would want to be. But man, let me tell you something. Reading what all happened from the 911 call to just all the things that transpired. I mean, he's obviously something is not worked.
Yeah.
And it's not a laughing matter or anything like that. But man, I mean, it's just like sometimes I don't know what it takes for us to go just reach out and get help.
Yeah.
And I think Richard, even from that, a lot of times, the one episode that get out of hand is the one that get publicized. But a lot of times, it's been a history,
Yeah.
When back in the 90s, I watched the OJ trial almost every day back when it happened, and just the anger and just I don't know, man. It's just something that when you got those type of demons inside you you got to reach out for help, man. And I think that's the situation. I don't know the whole situation. Nobody gonna know what the exact situation, but man,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of times when you go through these issues, and everybody be thinking about, man, I sure wish I could have been there to help them. You know, when it's too late. You know,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of times you just have to see the signs. You have to see signs that somebody's not. You know, in this pandemic, I mean, the pandemic. I mean, I think we're gonna look back 10 years from now, and we're gonna see some issues come from this pandemic that had nothing to do with that virus. It just, you know,
Yeah.
you look at what's going on in the news right now. If somebody, I guess, sit in a middle seat of a plane and they, I don't know, don't even spill a drink, just tap you on the arm or something, or she say put away your cell phone, there's a confrontation. And I just think that just a lot of anger, or just a lot of isolation. It might be isolation, I don't know what it is, but it seems like a lot of people right now is on the what I call on the edge. You know, it don't take a knock,
Yeah.
it don't take a whole lot to trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And this Richard Sherman, I mean, the Sherman situation just seems like, man, it just
What up,
seems
Ness?
he couldn't. There's more to this story to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely more to this story. And man, you brought up a great point about this pandemic and how this pandemic has affected people. And and athletes have talked about it, people have talked about it, and especially athletes, entertainers, and people who are never home, they had to be home.
Yeah.
And hey, I'll tell anybody, the virus claimed tons of marriages and relationships because you had to be in the house with that person and you had to actually coexist with them. And it ended a lot. And so one thing, the good thing that's going to come out of this is that I'm pretty sure Rick recognizes that he needs help.
Yeah.
And he's built such a brand that the judge had leniency on him. They want to have him on bail and keep him in, but the judge say no, we're going to release him on his own recognizance. I'm confident that he's going to show up to court. And he's a pillar in this community. He's a businessman. He's an athlete. He's a mentor. He's a role model. And, you know, basically, you know, he got some credit, you know, but just think if he hadn't have done it, just think if he had been getting in trouble from time to time, not necessarily a bad seed, but not been what he has been. And think about what the reports would be, you know, because right now, the jokes people making is just because he's talked a lot and he's loud, but there's nothing you could say about him. His record was squeaky clean before this, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but and like you said, men, period, and men don't have many outlets too. You know, that's why I love this. I love my show I do with my buddy Sean Taylor, and just doing this in general. When I talk about men and men's issues, those are the things that really get me going because I'm a man. And we don't have many men who talked about it. We've had Oprah and Donahue and all of them talking about women's stuff for years, the real and all of that stuff. But men haven't had their voice, and we're reclaiming it slowly but surely. And stuff like this has to be talked about.
Oh yeah, you gotta have an outlet. You gotta. I mean, we got so much pride. I mean, pride is a powerful thing, man. It might be one of the most powerful things in our world because it's something that you can't control it. I mean, it's a thing where your pride can just. I mean, sometimes pride is good. It'll boost you. It'll make you walk through a wall, and it'll give you confidence. Mm-hmm. But pride can also be a thing that can be your biggest detriment because it can make you, when you make a mistake, it can make you feel like you hadn't made a mistake. You know, it can make you feel like it's always somebody else's fault, or it can make you feel invincible. You know.
Yeah.
And it also makes you weak-minded to a point that I can't let nobody see the other side of me. And then when you see these instances
I was gonna say that, Ness,
of a guy that done lost control, and we just sitting back say, "Dang, like what happened? You know what was going on in this man mind, to just snap, and it's all, even with suicide, it's like, it's always
Male suicide. I remember I mentioned male suicide to you. It's high right now. Male suicide is high, especially the boys. The boys, it's high in boys right now.
And it's just like, man, let me tell you something. There's a message to any young man out there. If you got some issues that you can't handle on your own, man, bite that pride and go talk to somebody. If you got a big bro, talk to your big bro. It ain't no, if you can't talk to your own family members, then, reach out to get some professional help. But, I was back in that era in the kid in the 70s where, man, like, boy, the worst thing in the world was go talk to a doctor about your mental problems, and But hey, man,
like you seem weak or something. Yeah,
we can't solve all what. I mean, we live in a world where we done had police issues. I mean, just think of over the past 14 months of all the things, the election, people, a president who it just been a whole lot to deal with, and then some people had jobs and the next day they don't have a job, and it's just been a whole lot, man. Then you got the COVID, you got to walk around with a mask, you get a shot, you don't know if you got it. I mean, we can't solve all these problems by ourselves, man. You got a helpmate there to share your feelings, but we all this pride and we can conquer the world. We don't need anybody to help and all that, man. That's just it's time to put that aside, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Nesco said the pandemic has exposed a lot of inward issues that people had been able to hide with on-the-go activity. Yes, that's see, Ness. See, you gotta Ness be dropping the gems, man. But yeah, that's right. And he says the Bible says pride comes before a great fall. And I was going to say that. Yeah, this is true, man. It's unfortunate that men have been conditioned to be pillars. You've been conditioned to be stoic. You've been conditioned to not have feelings. Really, men have been conditioned to sacrifice themselves. If we're being honest, we've always been that. We've been the sacrificial lamb in this society. Whether it's war or what, I mean, we've been the sacrificial lamb. And one of the things that I was talking to a buddy of mine, I said, one of the things that our forefathers didn't prepare us well enough for, regardless of, what your race is or whatever, they didn't prepare us enough for the rigors of leadership and what comes with it and how tough it is. Because being a leader, especially, and then just being a leader on your job, being a leader in your household, and being a leader in your life, the pressure is incredibly immense. And if you're the leader, who are you going to lean on? And that's one of the issues that men have, man. But like you said, you're not weak if you go get help. If you can't figure it out, if you don't know, you're not weak.
And we're not the person. I mean, we're human. I mean, a human is this. You can't solve the world problems. You can't solve your own problem. You can't solve every problem. And you got to have patience to let a problem solve on itself. And you gotta, you gotta be in a situation where you just feel that you're gonna conquer. Sometimes you gotta convince yourself, even when things are bleak and it don't. Man, this ain't getting better and all this kind of stuff. And sometimes you just gotta have the foresight to just let time take its course. Also, every bad thing can work itself out, but sometimes I think we get in this panic that, man, I got to do something or else, and a lot of times we wrestle with a whole lot of stuff over a period of time, and then when you wrestle with so much stuff over that period of time, and I think that's one of the problems with the pandemic. It ain't going away. It's just here. It's just not. And you gotta. Sometimes you gotta train your mind to just say, man, it's gonna get all good. Sometimes you gotta play tricks with your own mind too. You just gotta not allow the pressures of life to just overtake you, and sometimes you just have to have approach that, and you have to get on your knees and pray.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta
it.
pray.
I mean,
Let's see.
hey,
And let's go say, while at work today, JSO brought in a young man that was having a mental breakdown, cursing out everybody that was trying to help him. So all the nurses did was drug him and knock him out. See, I tried to talk to him, and I was met with profanity and tears. Sad. Yeah, man. I mean, this highlights young men, because I think Richard's around my age, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's like in his early 30s. This highlights young men, and their issues that they go through. And one of the things too is them not understanding their value and knowing what their value is. And that's like our next guy we want to talk about, Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins, he didn't have an episode like Richard Sherman, but his issue was his current wife. They got into it, and she punched him in the mouth, split his lip, and knocked his tooth out. And then, this is the cherry on top, Mr. Reid. This is the cherry on top. He's going to stay with her. He's not leaving. Are you serious? I told the ex-girlfriend of mine, I told her this. I was talking to my brother and sister today, and I told her this, and she had an issue with what I said. And that just let me know where her head was at the time. But I told her, I said, if at any point I feel like I got to put my hands on you or I want to, I will leave you alone and never talk to you again, and you'll never see me again. And she had a problem with that. And I was like, you want me to beat you up? Like, is that what it is? Like, if I'm going to feel that way, I'm going to just leave. I thought that's what you would want a guy to do and not put hands on you. But no, I want you to stay and talk it out. Girl, I feel like I'm going to hurt you. What is there to talk about? And so it's why this kid, Dwayne, man, he has to leave, man. This doesn't get better, because he had to take the butt whooping, because if he didn't take the butt whooping, he's out of the league probably if he puts his hands on her. Yeah, his last stop, his current stop with the Steelers, he on shaky ground. Yeah. So,
and I can say this. I mean, sometimes I think we discussed this earlier today. You gotta know yourself, man. You gotta be true to yourself. You gotta put yourself into a situation where you know who you are as a person first before you go out and seek love and and sometimes you seek love so hard that you find the wrong love. you know, to be honest. And then you put yourself in a situation where, just like with Mr. Quarterback here, that that's like, that's like almost like a combustible, you light a fuse and it's gonna explode type of relationship,
Yeah.
And just I agree with you, man. Once the hitting and the fighting start, a lot of times it don't stop.
Yeah. She's done it before. For her to do that, she didn't just do that. She didn't just start. She's always put hands on him. And let's go say facts, John. Be true to yourself. And then too, the reason she got so upset is because she was she thought he had went to a club with his friends to holler at women, to go be around women, thought he was in the club talking to women and stuff. And no, he was out with his friends celebrating because they were renewing their vows or something like that. And he was out celebrating his friends, celebrating his marriage, and they were just out hanging. And she got upset. But this is the funny part. She got upset with him, but she was at a Magic Mike show, a strip show for the male strip show. So what?
I think that tells you all what you need to know, what you just said right there. We got two people who's married, but in reality, they doing their own separate things, and they're not. Ain't no equilibrium. There's just no middle ground. There's no communication. There's obviously no trust, and you just gotta. Who goes to Vegas to fight? First of all, and
you're not a boxer.
I'm old school. I done been to Vegas with my wife many times. I'm not going nowhere in Vegas if she's not with me. You call me old fashioned, you do whatever you but I'm not going anywhere to even put that plate on or that doubt or whatever you want to say. If we going on a plane together, then we're gonna do things together.
Yeah.
And I think that's wouldn't that be a vacation?
Right. Right.
Because man, if I wanted to go to Vegas and hang with the boys, then why should I bring my wife?
Yeah.
Or vice versa, you know?
Yeah.
And I just think that, and also, but beyond that, I think that you got. Sometimes we get married too young. Sometimes we get
I think
married. I
so.
mean, I'm 57 years old, and I know a lot more now than I did when I was 22 years old. So when I was 22, 23, I wasn't married. So I got all that out of my system before I got married. And a lot of
Yeah.
times, young fellas still want to hit the clubs and they want to be with the boys and the same with the ladies. And it's just, and man, you still got that stuff in you. I
Yeah.
don't think marriage is like the answer. You know, you don't
Hmm.
you don't need a trophy wife or a trophy husband.
Yeah.
So sometimes you marry too early,
Yeah.
and it's just it doesn't work. It doesn't work well. There's not compatibility.
Yeah. And hey, Nesco said he said I call you a smart man, John.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I agree because if I'm married, especially if I'm married, my wife is going with me. Who was the vice president, Trump's vice president? I can't remember his name. Oh, I can't remember his name, but Trump's vice president. He came under criticism because he said that he's not having dinners, going out to engagements without his wife. His wife had to be present because female staffers, if they coming along, whatever, he said his wife was going to have to be present, or I think males were going to have to be present too. He's not going to be alone with them. And people are like, oh, that's terrible. No, no, no. I call that smart. That's smart right there, man.
and
But
sometimes,
Dwayne is young.
hey, marriage. Marriage is not always going to be the honeymoon.
Haskins found that out when she hit him in the mouth. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah,
had Dwayne.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's not going to always be like, oh, every day is not going to be great. You know, every
yeah,
situation is not going to be great. But you definitely don't want to put yourself in a situation where you bringing doubt into the relationship on your own transgressions, man. I ain't not a
hmm
marriage counselor. I've been married twice, so I I do know a little bit, but
Pence, Mike Pence. Yeah, that's what it is. Pence.
you
Yeah,
gotta have compatibility, man. You can't just, the big. I know I'm not bashing us because, hey, but sometimes, man, we can't be our own worst enemy either, man. You
yeah,
can't have a me marriage, man, where you come first. I'm gonna do this. You don't
yeah,
consult her, or she don't consult you, and it's always me. I want this done. And it just
yeah,
and it don't. Hey, come on, man. It don't work. And also in marriage, you learn from your mistakes. That's why it ain't good when you're 22, 23. You're not going to take lessons when you're 22, 23. When you're 22, 23, 24, you're not going to say, oh, my bad, my fault. You're not going to say it. You're gonna fight to the tooth to say, yo, no, I wasn't wrong, no. Or you're going to lie to your tooth. You're going to
yeah,
fall on the sword and lie.
yep, yep.
Man, man, I tell you. So, my man, Dwayne, get it together, man.
Yeah, yeah. Nesco said, you can't be physically married yet mentally single, and that's how a lot of people operate today. Nesco, they want to be married, they want the title, they want the trophy husband, the trophy wife, the house, the car, the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids, but they want to operate like they're single. And I guarantee you that's what this is. I'm pretty sure those two, they're married, but they're doing their own thing, and they've been doing it since they've been married, or before they were married.
And I add this also: if you married and you got kids, especially
Amen.
sons, well, you can't. Hey, you can't sidetrack your responsibility either. I mean, there's a lot of fellas, boy. You get children, you 2, 3 kids, and You out with the boys while your son's at home watching television. They watching the game on the television set while you out on the town and you not taking your kids anywhere. You know,
Yeah.
you can't. Hey, Nesco said probably the most important thing of the night because that's that mentality, man. You can't. It ain't gonna work.
It's not. It's not gonna work.
I mean, it ain't a funny situation either, but it's not gonna work, man. We could sit here for the next 6 hours, and you know us fellas, try anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just it might work on the 24th of June, but it ain't gonna work on July 24th. So, and I think this is the situation with Dwayne. To get back to Dwayne, I mean, you gotta have compatibility means a lot. You can't take it for granted. And if it ain't working, all that hitting and screaming and shouting and all that, man, it just, I don't know, man. Hey, I don't know what their situation is from a day-to-day standpoint, but from that reaction on a vacation, not a good sign, man. Not a good sign for things to come.
With friends there as well. So now your business out. Ain't like they were by themselves. They got friends there. So now your business all out. Now it's a national story. Now you're embarrassed. But one thing, I place this on Dwayne. I don't. The young lady, it is what it is. Beautiful girl. She looked like an IG model. So I know what this is about. Dwayne didn't properly vet her. What Dwayne saw was a girl who looks like she's an Instagram model who might have 1 million followers. She looks good. He wanted that. He got with her, got married, and now they're just here. There's probably no plan, nothing put in place, none of that. And then, if I'm not mistaken, she left Dwayne. I think she was a Michigan State basketball player, and she was with a Michigan State, another Michigan State basketball player, male basketball player, and she left Dwayne, left him to be with Dwayne. So she started getting with Dwayne while she was still with him. So right there, and then Dwayne had to know. So, dude, how you get him is how you lose him. So, I mean, God.
And just another thing, man, you got to invest in your marriage too, man. You can't just think, oh, this beautiful woman you have, here's your wife, a trophy wife, and you don't invest no time. You don't invest. Sometimes you got to buy the roses, and sometimes you might have to take her out on the town and do things that you don't normally do every day, and make a special day out of a Monday. You know, you have to invest in your marriage, man, and just she be, and I always say this, man, that beautiful person, we all get old. It don't come down to how somebody look when they get older, man. It's what you do, it's your actions more than anything else. So life is simple, man. Life is not complicated as it seems, but you have to put it, just like with anything. You got a job, you got to put the effort. You got a wife, you got to put the effort. You got a relationship, you got to put the effort. You gotta work to make anything right. You can't. You just can't. Okay, God help me, and you're asking God to help you, but you're not putting no effort into anything, and it's just that it ain't gonna work like that, man. And I'm like I say, I'm 57 years old. I don't know the world, but I'm telling you.
Nesco say you can't tell how well a steak is until you get inside. Hint. There it is. That's it. That's it, man.
That's so true.
Yeah, that's it, man. All right, so before we move on to Mr. Urban Meyer, and I seen like 2 stories about him today. Quickly mention, I've almost forgot him. Vincent Taylor, Miami Dolphins player. He had an issue. His is kind of funny, but he could have serious ramifications for some of the stuff that he did. So him and the young lady he was dealing with, because it wasn't his wife, or I think it may have been his girlfriend, and they were supposedly breaking up and having an argument, and she threatened to leak their adult films onto the internet. and she ended up doing it, and then he ended up leaking more of it. So they basically did it to each other, which both are stupid because revenge, PORN, you're going to get in trouble for that. That's a law. Like you can't put out videos of somebody like that, man. So now he's going to face that, and she's going to face that. But one of the funniest things that she said is that she says she's no longer going to be with any more linemen, skill players only. No more fat guys, she said. And what was the funniest part about that is that this young lady is not small. She's 2 Popeyes biscuits away from protecting Trevor's blind side, and she's talking about no more fat guys. And I'm like, come on now. I ain't saying I ain't saying that we're in the Adonis or anything like that, but come on now, don't do that. Don't do that.
Man, I can't even comment on this. I mean, wow, how old are you? 23.
Oh yeah, they're young. They're young.
Basically, just gave her whole game plan. It ain't about him. It's about the finding somebody in the league that's got the money. That basically just said. Yep. It ain't about like what. So what's she gonna go for the quarterback next or what?
Yeah, she said skill player, so I guess so. She gonna go for she might be trying to get at Jalen Ramsey.
Watch out, because she on the prowl.
Right. Watch out, young men. Watch out.
Ooh, Lord, what in the world we living in right now, boy? I tell you, boy, and all this was this week.
That was this week. That was the last 3 days.
Lord, training camp, it can't get here soon enough. Then 2 weeks.
They got to get these boys. Hey, they got to get these boys on the field, or they gonna self-destruct.
Good Lord, boy, it's hotter than July, huh? Man, quarterback gets beat up by his wife. The porn tapes. Lord, let's move on. Right. Woo.
It's crazy, man. So Urban Meyer. So I saw. I don't know if you saw this story. Jimmy Johnson was talking about Urban Meyer, and he said Meyer was frustrated by NFL limitations on player interactions. He said, due to, of course, the pandemic and the new protocols, he can't be around them as much. And so that's one thing about college was he enjoyed being around the players. He wanted to spend as much time as he can. And they kind of restricted that. So he was frustrated by that. But Jimmy did speak highly of him. He said he knows that he's going to be successful because he's a tireless worker. He understands you need the right personnel, and he basically saying that dude, he's going to get the job done. And so let's say, hold on, let me see. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, Urban's very thorough. Urban has spent his due diligence getting ready for this job. He knew that he was getting into it. He knew what he was getting into when he accepted it. We had numerous conversations during the job process, and I think he'll do a great job. He knows how important personnel is, and he knows how to deal with people. And I said that from the beginning. I said you could like him, you could like him, not like him. You could think whatever you want about him. But one thing, Urban is a player's coach, so he's going to be for the players. So the players love him, and that's the reviews coming back. The players love him, which I knew they would. And he knows football, and he understands personnel, and he's going to let his coaches coach. So.
Well, Brandon, I say this because Urban, Mr. Meyer knew what he was getting himself into.
Yeah.
This contract that I'm hearing, I think it's like 7 years, and he's probably making about $10 million a year at least or more.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any more about Urban. Doesn't like that they don't. I mean, I heard this during free agency that he couldn't speak with the players, and in college you can be on a recruiting visit. You can speak with the parent. You can speak with the recruit. Man, the NFL is the NFL. Urban Meyer, I have all the regard in the world for Urban Meyer. I mean, a guy who never had a losing season in 17 years as a college coach doesn't need a whole lot more validation than that. But look, this is the big boy league, and this is the NFL, and you got to follow the rules, just like Jimmy Johnson had to do when he was at Dallas, just like any other coach. And the rule of the NFL is there's not much there's not a lot of contact, and you got to follow the rules. And you don't. Maybe at Ohio State you can have exceptions, but there's no exceptions in this league. They are what they are. They're not going to change, and you got to deal with it.
I think he'll adjust. He's complaining because it's new, so you're going to hear the complaints. But I think he's going to adjust, and they're going to find a way around it. I didn't know. I knew they got fined, but I didn't know they forfeited OTA practices next year.
Yeah, but I don't. To be honest, Brandon, I don't fault him a whole lot about the fines. I mean, it's almost to the point that this is what happened. The wide receivers going up against the defensive backs. When you got helmets and shorts on, the only true real contest you're going to get is those receivers going against the DBs in an off-season program. And, I don't think a head coach, assistant coach can go stop a guy from getting at it, on a bump and run, or a guy get beat a couple of times and he gonna make sure he doesn't get, he's not gonna get beat again. And I just think that was more just of emotion, and I do agree with what I was told about that situation, that there are players on that roster during the all-season program who wanted to impress the coaching staff, and they kind of, hey man, I gotta show what I got, because if I don't, I may not get a whole lot of opportunity once training camp start. So I gotta show everything, and I just think, hey, if you Belichick, whoever, it's hard to stop a monitor to that kind of stuff. And I don't think that Urban Meyer and his coaches said, well, go make tackles when they were in shorts and helmets. So I don't fault them for that. I just think that the NFL, they make these teams tape all of the practices. And from what I understood is that they send those tapes to the league office. The league office during during that window after the mini camp, they review those tapes, and then they probably saw some situations between the defensive back and the wide receiver went at it a little bit. The receiver hit the ground. It is what it is, man. But one thing about Urban gonna do what it takes to win. He ain't gonna make no shortcuts about it, and he's gonna demand that from his players. And if you don't show that urgency that you want to be on the field, you're not gonna be on the field with him. You're not gonna, if you don't show max effort, you're not gonna be playing for Urban. So I think that had a lot to do with it, and I don't think those coaches went out and said we gotta have live contact or anything like that. I think that was more the aggression from the players, and so be it, man. He's $100,000
lighter in the pocket,
in the pocket, and the team is $200,000. And I think if they can get 8-9 wins, they're not going to be thinking about that money they gave to the league this summer.
Right. Yeah, this isn't Jack Del Rio. Jack and them did that on purpose. Jack and them used to get in trouble for their supposedly practices and training camp and OTAs, and them doing things that they shouldn't have been doing, hitting excessively when they shouldn't have been hitting, because I think they limited practices where you could hit, and Jack and them were hitting when they weren't supposed to be. So they were doing that on purpose. So this isn't that situation, like you said. Last thing was the situation where I saw initially I thought it was about something, but it seemed like it's much ado about nothing right now anyway. Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke were subpoenaed to give information of the hire of Chris Doyle to it's a civil suit. I think 8 players from Iowa are suing the school, for their interaction with Chris Doyle, and they said he was prejudiced and racist and things like that. So But they just, I guess, from his hire and his dealings, they just want information about it, and they got subpoenaed to give the information. But that information, I don't know how that's going to help their case or how it's even pertinent to their case. But I did see that today.
And I'll just go back to the original statement I made. One of the biggest mistakes Urban Meyer made was to hire the street coach.
Yeah, a strength coach.
Yeah, I just think that that's a mistake that is just, it'll never go away. You know, he's always going to be the NFL head coach that basically hired a racist.
Yeah.
And, you know, for a Jacksonville franchise that's been, you know, losing seasons, questionable decisions, and just a whole lot of things that has nothing to do with wins and losses. You don't want to. That would be. I think that was one of the least things that you didn't want to add something like that to your franchise. You know.
Yeah.
I think that was a mistake. But as I agree with you, I don't know what that's going to add to the case. I don't think he put on his resume or explained what was his intentions at Iowa. I don't think he's going to disclose anything to Urban that to help their case.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just go back to the fact that Urban never should have hired this guy for his to his staff. It's just too much too soon, and you know, basically he was a racist, and you don't want to.
55 players came out against him.
Yeah,
55.
Yeah, 55 players all saying the same thing. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's just that's a mistake on Urban on that one, man. Hey, nothing else you can say. There's no justification for that hiring. It was never going to go away. We'll be talking in December if he was still on that staff that was a mistake. So,
yeah,
you know, even the reputation of Urban Meyer, that great record, the college great football coach, nothing was going to live that down. And actually, it probably would have overshadowed more. It would have been a bigger distraction if he was still on that staff. And I just think that Urban, I hope he doesn't make any more mistakes like that, because from January to the time he was hired to now, I think that's been his biggest miscue, biggest mistake. No, even call it miscue. Biggest mistake that he's made since he took that job. And it's just, even now, just to me, nothing else of the subpoena is. It's just a black eye, bad news for the franchise more than anything. It's just bad hire. He shouldn't have never did it. Bottom line.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I agree totally, man. So we can move forward and segue into these NBA finals. And man, Batman and Robin showed up last night, man. 66 points combined. And when Giannis, I was talking to some coworkers, man, and I don't know about you, but Giannis is probably the most unstoppable force, just sheer force we've seen since probably Shaquille O'Neal. Because when he gets into the painted area, it's over. I mean, it's literally over. Like, the only way you beat him is he beat himself. That's it. There's nothing you could do about it. And when Chris Middleton adds to that and he's on, it's going to be very hard to stop that 1-2 punch. But as we've seen, their coach is suspect, and they can't win outside of Milwaukee. So it might be much to do about nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to add to what you said, man. But I don't like the head coach. They got great talent. Giannis is great. Middleton is great.
Yeah.
He can't make a shot.
Can't make a shot.
2 inches of the basket, but he definitely can defend. He's definitely putting a lot of on-ball pressure on Chris Paul, and I think it's impacted him. But I want to go back to game 1. We haven't spoke. I don't think we've spoken since that game one.
Yeah.
I'm there watching that game, and I'm saying, wait a minute now. He got Drew Holiday basically playing the wing, and he's guarding Booker. And if you go back, I mean, Chris Paul got the ball in his hand like 80% of the time.
Yeah.
And your best on-ball defender is out on the perimeter playing a shooter. And I'm saying to myself, what is this? Didn't I see the same thing against the Hawks? I mean, why should it take you guys 2 games to come up with a defensive plan? And it's just, I put it back on the head coach, man.
Yeah.
But as you said, I don't think that I've never seen Aiden have as much problems in the playoffs as he's having right now with Giannis, and it's on both ends of the floor, you know. And it just seems like now, because of Giannis' presence in the post, that he's looking for him. He's like looking to see where the guy at before he take a shot, and it's throwing off his rhythm, you know. And on the defensive end, it's just like, man, Giannis is backing him into the post. He had not experienced that type of presence in that post from a defender or offensive guy on both ends, and impacting the Suns a lot. And I say this about Monty. Monty is a great defensive coach. He's not a great offensive coach. I mean, they running that pick and roll, and you know they got shooters on that team. But this is the one fault of Monty. You're not going to see a wholesale changes going into Phoenix of them changing their offense in, and you still going to see Chris make those plays on the pick and roll on the perimeter, and it's just going to be, he's basically going to say, look, Milwaukee, you're going to have to beat us the same way you did in Minneapolis, in Milwaukee. You got to do it again in Phoenix. Yeah, it's gonna, and he's not, and he feels the shooting will take over their offense, and they could get past the Bucks no matter what they show. I don't know that. I mean,
I don't know that either. Yeah. Now, Nesco say Suns in 7. I see Suns in 7 because Milwaukee, until they show that they can win a game in Phoenix, you're not going to win this series. You got to win in Phoenix. So, but I've seen where Monty Williams, like, he's a great coach, great defensive coach. He's a great motivator as well. I saw a video of him talking to DeAndre Ayton, and DeAndre had been struggling. And he told him, he said, you know why you feel this way? It's because you set a high standard for yourself. He said, go out there. He said, go out there and make impact. He said, that's not necessarily scoring, and that's not necessarily always defense. He said, just go out there and be a force. And so that's what DeAndre, to get past this with Giannis, is just go attack. Go attack.
That's all you got to do.
Attack.
The basket, take the ball inside, strength against strength. And another thing that I saw, and I also actually saw Willie Green point his finger to Chris, and then the next, even on that, after that possession, they took Chris out the game. Chris got to get the ball past the half court line. He's got to move the ball quicker. Even when they pressuring him, I mean, they actually pressure him as soon as he get the ball, but he's got to get that ball across that line quicker, man. All that dribbling, that is the one fault of Chris Paul. The ball is in his hand too much. And if you look at their other previous series, the biggest thing they did was spacing on the floor, and they moved the ball around. They
ball didn't stick.
It didn't stick, and for whatever reason, I think it's the Drew Holiday fact. I just think Drew is bigger, physical, quick, and it has an impact on most of the time. Chris can maneuver around, or he can use his ball handling skills. And he can get space on a defender. He's not used to a defender playing up close on him. As soon as he get the ball inbound, there's Drew. And I just think that, it makes Chris dribble too much. It makes him like, he's looking for players, but he's not looking up the floor enough and making the pass. You don't have to be a showman. You just got to get the ball out your hand and spread the space the floor, be a facilitator. You don't have to be a showman. And I think when it comes to a personal matchup, I think sometimes he's get into that personal matchup where he want to shake and bake. And hey man, this ain't your series to shake and bake. This is the series. Get the ball, get the floor spread, get angles and get to the basket, or rely on your shooting and attack the basket when you can and get the ball to Ayton and just take advantage of what you got. You know, you don't have to be the showman or you don't need 30 points and 20 assists to win this series, but you got to take advantage of the talent that you got on that roster, and that's what they got to do.
Yeah, if Chris was his normal self, not even spectacular, they probably most likely win that game. They lost that game because Chris was not good. Chris was pretty bad in that game. But Chris, being the savvy veteran that he is, 16 years experience, he adjusts. He does adjust, and that hero ball that he likes to play, he's going to have to give it up. You know, that's one of the complaints in Houston when he was in Houston. And, you know, him and James Harden had it out because Chris dribbled the air out of the ball. That's what he does. He dribbles the air out of the ball. Big Baby Davis said that when Harden was having issues and Big Baby Davis caught the flag, he said Chris dribbles the air out of the ball, man. He said that's the issue.
Let me tell you a story, boy. There used to be some games when he was playing with the Hornets. And David
no more turnovers.
And David West would just be seething. I mean, this guy, he just dribble. I'm raising my hand, throwing my hand, throw the ball.
Yeah. That's one of the issues, man. Yeah. So Nesco say Chris got to stop turning the ball over. Yeah, he got to stop. He had 5 turnovers. I thought he had more. He had 5 turnovers, but his turnovers were, I mean, they were killers. Especially that last one. That was a bad turnover, man. He slipped on the floor or whatever. That was a bad turnover.
I remember the other night, man, he got pulled out of the game and just Chris went to the other side of the bench. But when it was time to get back in, he sat in Monty Williams' chair. They think I looked up, he was on the floor. So but he's got to play better, man.
Yeah, he does have to play better. Milwaukee, I think they have to, whatever fire they have in Milwaukee, you need to take that to Phoenix, man. Budenholzer, get out the way. He seemed like he's in the way. Just get out the way. Get out the way.
Just let the guys play. I really think that talent-wise, hell, I think Milwaukee, I mean, I like the size that they have. I like when they bring Lopez in the game and he can make a 3-point shot. And I think when it comes to matchup-wise, Milwaukee can match up with him. I actually think that Milwaukee has done, out of all the teams the Suns has played, I think they've been better at matching up defensively against the Suns. I mean, contesting the shots. I mean, Booker hadn't had a lot of open. I mean, he's looked like, to me, he's had to work for every shot, and every shot has been difficult, you know?
Yeah.
Aiden is another example. There's no free. There have been a few, but there's no open lanes or open drives to the basket where he can just dunk, and there's uncontested dunks. And I just like I said before, I think Giannis' presence is just his physicalness, his assertiveness on offense. The guy got to play tough on both ends of the floor, and that's tough, man. That's a tough thing to do. You got to give maximum effort on both ends of the floor against the same guy. And, they can play each other straight up, so he doesn't need for Milwaukee, they don't have to put an extra defender to try to stop Aiden inside. So that helps a lot, too. And then, the big thing in the early part of the series was they were switching on everything on that pick and roll, but I think they've solved that problem. I think they got a lot of athleticism on their team, man. And as you said, I agree. If the head coach just get out the way, if you want to play some zone or whatever, but get out of the way and let these guys, if they go play straight up man, then let them play straight up man. and put the best against the best. Put Drew. Obviously, I don't want to see in this next game that he's Bodenheiser might just, oh man, okay, all right, Drew, go back on Booker. I mean, I don't know what this guy's gonna do from game to game. It just seemed like he want to make a name for himself as a coach at the expense of the players. And he's got a great roster on this team. I mean, you got a guy that's 40 points in the first 2 games. You got Chris Middleton, who scored 40. They got 3 in the 3 games they played. They've had a 40-point score in each of the 3 games, which is exceptional. Yeah. And just get out of the way and let these guys try to win this championship. That's what I say. I think the weak link is not on the floor. I think the weak link is the coaching. I mean, that's what I feel.
Yeah, I saw Kendrick Perkins post a stat about Chris Middleton, because he people got at him because he called Chris Middleton Batman and called Giannis Robin, but I don't agree with that. He's like, well, they both superheroes and they both super. Nah. We know Batman is superior to Robin, and I don't think that's the case. Middleton is great though. I saw the stat that he posted though was shots in the game, shots in the fourth quarter tie the game or to go ahead. I think Middleton has hit 15 of those shots this postseason, and in the last 25 years, only LeBron James has 15, and he did it in 2007. So that speaks volumes in itself about Chris Middleton's greatness and what he's established in these playoffs. And hopefully he can get more consistency, because when he flash, I mean, flashed, but then he'll have a game where he had like 15 points, and you just, So, but all in all, they got to win in Phoenix. You got to win in Phoenix. You don't win in Phoenix, you don't win this series.
I would just love to see Chris Middleton just be Chris, man. Just don't worry about you got one of the best post guys in the league, and just play his game. I think sometimes he'd be looking to make sure he blend in, deferring, and just making sure that Giannis get his touches. And I just think maybe he don't realize that he's he's a star too, and you don't have to always defer, just if it's an open shot. You don't have to ask a question or ask can I take it? Just take it. Take it. If it's all about winning, and just I think he's got to come in, whether they win the championship or not. I just think he's got to come within. I mean, he's a soft-spoken guy. He doesn't, he definitely doesn't attract attention for himself. But I think he's got a great talent. I just think that he just gotta realize he has that talent, And
I want him to channel his inner Kobe, channel the inner Black Mamba. But Shaq was on the team. Shaq was already established, one of the most dominant forces in the game. He had from Orlando coming to LA. That's what he was. He was great. Kobe was like, okay, Shaq down there in the post, but I'm Kobe Bryant. And that's the mentality Chris Middleton needs to have. Giannis, 2-time MVP. He's great, unstoppable force. But I'm Chris Middleton, and I'm a star as well. So I think if they have that and they can become a true duo, because they wanted to. I think it's not many duos better than them anyway. But if Middleton can develop and grow into his own, they're going to be good for a long time.
Yeah. And who knows, man? We might be seeing the Suns and the Phoenix a couple more times in the finals. I think they both got great young rosters. They both got a full with plenty of depth. Who knows? I mean, these guys might be back next year playing for a championship. That's conceivable.
Yeah, but I'm with Nesco. Suns in 7 now, because they're not going to win. It seems like they ain't going to win in Milwaukee. So, but Game 7 is in Phoenix. And I'm giving that to the Suns.
Well, I say the Suns is going to win the series, so I'm still sticking with the Suns, even though, I don't know, man. I know Monty pretty well. Monty got to make some adjustments when this guy's not knocking down shots, man. He's got to.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to coach hard. Sometimes you got to take Chris Paul out the game when he's not doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And, when your shooter not shooting, you got to tell him attack the basket, which is Booker. You can't just act for him to set up, figure it out on his own. He's got to be the one to say attack the basket. It ain't going for you, young fella, on the outside tonight. Though, drive to the basket, but
Get Ayton cranked up early. Tell him be a force, man. Yeah, that's Giannis, but you DeAndre Ayton. You've established yourself as one of the best big men in the league in these playoffs. And, that's not hyperbole. He's going into next season. When you talk about big men, if you're not discussing DeAndre Ayton in your discussion, you're not having a true discussion about big men in the NBA. He's established himself. And go out there and be a force, man.
Demand the ball. Even with Chris. Chris be, hey,
demand
you in that spot. No, hey, give me the ball.
Give me the ball. Yes, sir.
Hey, and that's what Shaq used to tell Kobe too.
Oh yeah, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball, man. Yeah, give me the ball. So now, last one is Team USA. Now,
did they lose another one?
Well, they're 1-2. They lost their first two, and they blew out Argentina. And people say they only blew out Argentina because Manu Ginobili retired from basketball. So that's the only reason they beat Argentina, they say. But looking at the roster, they have a nice collection of talent. But this is probably the least talented team they fielded in probably about 20 years or something like that. Like, this is definitely the least talented team. Even with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal now is done. He went into the safety health protocols, and now they have to replace him. So you lose immense talent in Bradley Beal. But their biggest issue is that they're going to be able to score from time to time because you got Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant. So you're going to be able to score. You got Draymond Green there to do the dirty work. Jason Tatum, he didn't play against Argentina, but you got Jason Tatum going forward, who's a young rising superstar. So you got some talent, but their issue is defensively.
Yeah.
They played. Who did they play? Hold on, let me see. I want to make sure I get because they played Argentina, but before that,
they lost I don't know who the second. I know the first game they lost to Nigeria.
Yeah, they lost to Nigeria. And then they lost to they got beat Argentina. They lost to Australia. So against Australia, this is the issue that they highlighted against Australia, and this is where they say the problem is identified is defense. So do you remember Luis Scola?
Yeah, I remember Big Scola.
Yeah, 40. He's 40. Still playing, man. Yeah, he's still playing.
What, he 40? How old is he?
41.
Oh man!
So Louis Scola, at the ripe young age of 41 years old, he came off the bench and dropped 16 in 18 minutes. And what they did was they say this is the issue with what happened. All they did was they did the switch. They found smaller defenders, switched Scola onto him, and he went to work and killed him. And I said, well, if that's the case, then dude, it's much more skilled players and younger players than Scola going forward. So if you can't handle Luis Scola, you in some trouble, baby.
But you know what, Brandon? I don't like the way this team is constructed. International ball is different than NBA ball. When you play Spain and you play even Australia, in the international ball, they don't just jack up threes. They take it inside, and they're gonna pound it inside. And I don't think this team is constructed like a regular NBA team where if they got a big man, he's standing 20 feet from the basket.
Yep.
And it doesn't take rocket science. If you go back to some of the years where we lost in the Olympics and finished 4th and 3rd and bronze and all that, it's because we couldn't stop the inside game of the international teams in the Olympics. And I like Kevin Durant, some others on that team, they great 3-point shooters, man, but if you expecting Draymond Green to just be your center and stopping stopping everything in the inside, they're not gonna win no gold medal like that, man. So
No,
I don't like the way
because
the team is constructed, and I also don't like Greg Popovich making excuses. It's like, I mean, you can't get
yeah,
offended because a reporter asked a tough question to who is that? The Portland guard, the Lillard. You can't,
good, yeah,
get offended and come up with excuses because hey, you lost, and yes, it's an exhibition, but look, if you go back on history, when the USA teams don't play well in exhibition, it's usually a sign that they're not going to win the gold. I mean, may not even finish second to win a silver. It's a
yeah,
sign that things are not working right, and you can't make an excuse. Which I like Pop, but come on, man, you can't tell the public, oh, because we building we building chemistry. It's gonna take us time to build chemistry. I mean, wait a minute, man.
yeah,
You NBA players. I mean, the best player in Europe, even if he doesn't play on the NBA team, they don't have the talent that you got. So
yeah.
I don't know if I don't blame it all on Pop. Whoever assembled this team did not assemble it to be competitive to what they got to face in this international competition. That's how I see it. You
Yeah, I
can't.
see the lack of true big men, man. Because
Yeah.
Kevin Love and Bam Adebayo are your two real bigs, and I don't. Those the two are finesse bigs, really. I
Yeah.
mean, they don't have a grunt
Yeah.
big man. They don't have a big man. He's a glass cleaner and he's a defender, and he gonna elbow some people in the post. They don't have that,
Yeah.
So there's no intimidating force, and they better hope that Devin Booker and Chris Middleton join the team because they
Yeah.
could use them like yesterday. So after the finals over, you better hope Book and Middleton continue that they come through and they join the team because they're gonna need them.
Yeah. And they just gotta, I gotta say, you maybe they need to spend a little bit more time, you know, preparing for their limit. It just seemed like this was a rushed selection,
Yeah,
a rushed. Didn't know who was gonna, you know, volunteer to want to play those kind of things, and just like man, you know, these last few Olympics in the past when Mr. K was the coach, I mean, it just seemed like everything was a flow. People wanted to play. They had the right
mm-hmm.
mix of players, and the NBA has gone. It's been a tough 2 seasons right now for the NBA, man, because it's a lot to ask an NBA player. You go from the bubble, you don't have much rest time going into this season, and
Yep.
then you go straight to the Olympics, and then you got to come back and start another season. What by September? And I don't know what the start date for this upcoming season, but and it's just like the Olympics gonna drag on through August, even in the first month of September, I think. So
Yeah.
it's a lot to ask, and I don't know. I hate to see this team finish with a bronze or worse.
Right. She's not even qualified, man. So yeah. Yeah. Nesco said they need more time together and please play defense.
And play defense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. They do. And yeah, please get Devin Booker and Chris Middleton out there. Hopefully those two stay healthy and they decide to join them after they're done in the finals. They got to replace Bradley Beal. Personally, if you're going to you got to replace Bradley Beal. Dude, go get a big. I'll just go get another big, man. Go find you another big.
What is Kevin Love, about 40?
Man, Kevin up there, man.
I thought Kevin Love has
He think, man, we the same age. Man, that dude look like somebody granddaddy right now, man. I did not realize me and him was the same age. He looking old.
I don't watch many Cleveland games, but I know Cleveland ain't been that good lately, so I don't know.
And Kevin, I've seen a little bit of Cleveland games, And Kevin looked like he's mailed it in, honestly. I mean, and it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, but
so let me ask you this, man. So the big man with the Timberwolves he didn't get an invite? I know he done had a lot of situations with the COVID with his family, but
Towns,
yeah, he didn't get an
oh
invite.
man, if they could get Karl Anthony Towns, that'd be huge.
I'm trying to figure out why would they not? He didn't want to play.
I'm guessing so. That must be it. But if I'm Pop, I'm getting on a private jet and I'm headed straight to his home in Minnesota. And I'm like, hey, Cat, I need you to come. Karl Anthony Towns would be big for them.
You talking about Booker? They might need to get on the phone and get Aiden.
Aiden to be perfect for them. That's another big. They need another big, man. You need another big. They're going to look like what was the team? It was the 2014.
Yeah.
And yeah, they what they got bronze, I think. And then they came back in 2008 with the Redeem team with Kobe and all of them and just blew the field away. But that 04 team, I remember that 04 team. That 04 team had a lot of talent, but they just
they couldn't put it together, man.
They couldn't put it together.
They barely got the bronze, to be honest.
barely got bronze. And this team looked exactly like that 04 team with less talent.
That team got blowed out by I think Serbia or somebody beat them real bad in that Olympics.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they came here. They came here for an exhibition game to Jacksonville, and I went to that game. And I forgot who they played, but Melo and Allen Iverson couldn't play because I don't know if they were out partying, they missed curfew or something, but they couldn't play in the game. They ended up winning, but you could tell right then and there, that was like, this team isn't like the past teams.
And another thing, Brandon, man, it's just that these players, I mean, we can have this debate all for the next 100 years about the young stars now and the dream team of 92 with Magic and Jordan and all those guys. But the one thing you could say about the 92 Olympic team, man, they were motivated by them. It wasn't a question of their motivation for the Olympics because they went after each other.
Yeah.
And they had a killer instinct just even for the Olympics. These guys, they got to be pushed to get motivated.
Yeah, man. So, well, we'll see what else. We'll see what it yields. We'll see how this finals plays out, and let's please get these NFL players on the field because they are self-destructing at the moment. Hopefully, Richard Sherman, can get the help he needs, and just learn to take this time and focus on himself. Because I'm pretty sure, even with him being a millionaire athlete and being a father and a husband, that Richard probably hasn't taken much time to focus on himself. Yeah. He's focused on football. He's focused on his family. He's focused on his business. He's focused on being a role model. He's focused on just being this great person and not being the flawed individual that he is, because that's what we are. We're all flawed. And he needs to just take some time to himself and focus on himself. Find out what Richard wants. Find out what makes Richard happy. That's the best advice I can give him. Yeah.
And that's all, man. I agree with everything you just said about that situation, man. That we just hope the best for him, and seek help to help get his situation straightened out, because he's been an impactful player. Even though he talk a lot of trash on the field and things like that, those Seattle teams wouldn't have been as successful as they were if they didn't have him out there. So
yeah, he was intimidating. Yeah. So, well, man, I enjoyed this today, man. This was good. I told this Richard need to come on here. This therapy right here, man. Yeah, come on, come hang with us, man. Come work out some of those kinks, man. Hang with us, man.
I can get ready for next week after letting all that steam out.
That's it, man. This get you through the rest of your week, man. For sure, man. For sure. Man, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You see all my information at the bottom of the screen. Follow Mr. Reid on Twitter, Facebook, and all his platforms. Jacksonville.com and Florida Times-Picayune. And man, we will be back next week with more topics. Hopefully, these next week is just as exciting as this week was. Not too much craziness, but hopefully we'll have some more stuff in there. So y'all continue to watch. I appreciate y'all's support. Any last thoughts, Mr. Reid?
Hey, we got next week, and then after that, we back out on the field. The Jaguars start training camp on the 27th. So, boy, I what's amazing to me is just how fast this month that went by.
Yeah, I saw it's a meme saying that this is the last month without football until March 2022. And I said, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Let's go say awesome time, fellas. This was fire. Hey, appreciate you, Ness.
Appreciate it, man. This is
all right.
Like therapy.
Work it all out, man. Work it all out, man. But hey, I appreciate y'all, but we are out of here, man. Peace out, y'all. Yes, sir.